Morning, guys. This is the Chief here live in Baltimore, Maryland, in the sanctuary with the animals. Um, when I talk about the tree of life being pulled and the dismemberment of the actual tree of life, I'm going to take you back to Enoch, and I believe it's in the chapter 21 or 22. I can find it for you. I'll actually leave it in the link. I'll leave it in the description if I can. The problem is with with my videos lately, they haven't been giving me the description. So they won't allow me, in other words, to put anything in the description. So they're controlling my description part of the box, which is pretty stupid. I just put it in the comments. So I want you to listen to this. It talks about Uriel. It talks about Enoch. And it talks about him traveling to the center of the earth. And it talks about the tree. And it talks about the things that I was telling you about, how the tree was pulled out and how it was cut, and how the life of the earth was taken out with the tree. And that one day the tree will return with God and his Savior, his Son, and that tree and his Son will be the light of that tree in New Jerusalem. And when that tree gets replanted in the earth, that's when all this is going to happen. And it's all going to happen all at one time. And I'm going to show you in Enoch the proof about that tree, about how it used to be in the middle, how it was dismembered, and how it was raised up. And it's waiting, that tree is waiting for us at the end of time. When Jesus returned, it's waiting for all of us to come home. All right? And that tree will come back to the earth. It will destroy everything under it. All the roots will be destroyed, all the rocks and everything that are attached to it. That's going to fall right down on top of the earth. All the tracks, all the system, all the vehicles, everything is going to fall into the earth, into the fire. And we are going to be pulled out, and we will be witnessing this from above. And I'm going to show you this chapter right here. This is going to be short. But this proves the tree of life was dismembered and was taken up, and then the earth was void. Okay, I'm going to show you this. Listen up.
Who hath prepared such things for the righteous, and hath created them and promised to give to them. And I went from thence to the middle of the earth, and I saw a blessed place in which there were trees with branches abiding and blooming, of a dismembered tree.
There you go.
And there I saw a holy mountain. And underneath the mountain to the east, there was a stream, and it flowed towards the south.
All right, so you see, again, I'll let you hear it again. You guys I'll leave this actual chapter that tells you about this tree. And he's basically taken him to all the places around the earth, above and below, and he's showing them all the chambers. He's showing them all the construction, the firmament. He's showing them the mountains that are above us, and on the side of the left, he shows the place where all the people go when they die before judgment. He shows that there are places for people who are really evil people that are not mixed with the other places that people are awaiting judgment that aren't evil. All right, so where all of your forefathers and generations who have passed on are all waiting in this place. There's two good places and one bad place. And at the end, they're all going to be judged at the end and brought up from that place in the west. And that's where he said this is at. All right, but that's not going to be on the surface of the earth. That's going to be on another level above us. All right, now listen again. I want you to listen again to the tree. It's important because this is important. This is part of the history of the world. All right, the actual world here. Let's go.
And I saw a blessed place in which there were trees with branches abiding and blooming, of a dismembered tree. And there I saw a holy mountain, and underneath the mountain.
All right, so that's the tree of life that I talk about that is above. This is what the vision, this is a vision that the Holy Spirit gave me when I was trying to figure out what in the world happened from the beginning, why were the land masses moved, and what was exactly in the center. And what happens was all the life was taken out of here when he pulled all this in. The tree of life connected to everything that had life here. So it was basically your lifeline and connection to all your generations and to everything, and every seed that came from that garden came from the tree, and those trees were actually alive. All right, so your generational people came from trees, all right, from the beginning. All right, you'll be returning back to that tree, and that generation will be flourishing in places that are set apart from evil and given to the people of God, the righteous. Okay, and that'll be all of us who are following in God's footsteps, all of us who give our lives to God, who throw the physical part of this life away and separate themselves spiritually. All right, I mean, I'm just giving you a rundown of who we are. We are the righteous. We are the ones that were violated. We are the ones that were being manipulated. We are the souls, right, that were supposed to come down here, figure this out, and let other people know. All right, listen again to this. Let me pull it back. I'll let you take it from here. Let me just take it from this side right here. I'll let you go through here from here, and you can listen to some of the chapter that leads up to it.
Saw 7 magnificent mountains, all differing each from the other, and the stones thereof were magnificent and beautiful, magnificent as a whole, of glorious appearance and fair exterior, 3 towards the east, 1 founded on the other, and 3 towards the south, 1 upon the other, and deep rough ravines, no one of which joined with any other. And the 7th mountain was in the midst of these, and it excelled them in height, resembling the seat of a throne. And fragrant trees encircled the throne, and amongst them was a tree such as I have never yet smelt. Neither was any amongst them, nor were others like it. It had a fragrance beyond all.
All right, now look to your left right here. You see the land from that tree branch? That generation of land right there is going to be destroyed. That is Midgard right there. That is where these people are. And that right there is the land that's going to fall down on top of us when the tree comes. All right? And you can see the rainbow bridge that connected them to the earth, right? You see that? You can see also the other generations of trees. Look at the serpents in the... You see the serpent in the water circling it? And again, they call this Yggdrasil, okay, the tree. I'm not sure what that even means. I have to look up the origin of that. But this is part of the construction of God's creation. And when he dismembered the tree, this is what happened. When all of what happened here on earth was being supported by this tree and being corrupted, what they were doing was using the wrong information of the tree, like the tree of knowledge, instead of the tree of life. You were given everything, all your knowledge that you needed to be who God wanted you to be was part of that tree of life. The tree of knowledge was a test, it seems. Okay, without the tree of knowledge, we don't have a test, right? Without good, you don't have bad. Without bad, you don't have good in a world of duality that's being played against each of us down here. That's why when we argue over details, it's probably the most ridiculous thing. It probably frustrates the Father in heaven when we argue over details down here on this earth, especially on YouTube, when people who are friends and YouTube people, it's weird on YouTube because YouTube is the only place you can make a friend and an enemy in the same day. The same person. Like you'll make friends with this guy, right? But this guy's friend is your enemy on YouTube. So on YouTube, that's how they divide it, and that's how they keep us divided. And they have agents in here to make those plays and to promote that. All right, and they push it. They also have people that have channels in here that come. As soon as you start to flourish on YouTube, you see people all of a sudden show up out of nowhere, questioning everything that you said, right? Everything. So the place on YouTube is set up for division. It's set up for everything in this world is set up to divide categories of people. The more categories we have, we can divide people in more ways. So the more ways we divide them, the harder it is to get back as one. And the one is that tree. We all have to return back to this tree. This tree is coming back to us, but in spirituality, we have to separate the physical part, right, to the spiritual part that God gave us and created. That goes back to that tree right there, okay?
Fragrance, and its leaves and blooms and wood wither not forever, and its fruit is beautiful, and its fruit resembles the dates of a palm. Then I said, how beautiful is this tree, and fragrant, and its leaves are fair, and its blooms very delightful in appearance. Then answered Michael, one of the holy and honored angels who was with me, and was their leader. And he said unto me, Enoch, why dost thou ask me regarding the fragrance of the tree? And why dost thou wish to learn the truth? Then I answered him, saying, I wish to know about everything, but especially about this tree. And he answered, saying, this high mountain which thou hast seen, whose summit is like the throne of God, is his throne, where the holy great one, the Lord of glory, the eternal King.
So right there, it shows you that the throne of God is part of this tree of life. That's why it's coming back, okay? So it's a very important part of our history, this tree of life, because if you take away the tree of life from all of this, you get nothing more than fake physical life. But what that tree contained was the spirit of life, was the spirit of God. I'm going to let you continue, and I'll let
will sit, when he shall come down to visit the earth with goodness. And as for this fragrant tree, no mortal is permitted to touch it till the great judgment. when he shall take vengeance on all, and bring everything to its consummation forever. It shall then be given to the righteous and holy. Its fruit shall be for food to the elect. It shall be transplanted to the holy place, to the temple of the Lord, the eternal King. Then
Did you see that? Did you hear what he just said? The tree will be transplanted. What does that mean? It means it's planted across. In other words, it goes right through the evil and destroys it on the outwards basis. Okay? This is what's going to happen at the end of our world when everything crumbles to the ground here, guys. You've heard the song King Nothing from Metallica. Go look at the lyrics. I got to tell you that most of these songs in the rock venue and the rock agenda have a lot to do with what's going on up there, a lot to do with the machines that are above us, and a lot to do with all the things that happened to this world that created the deception that we live in today. Still to this day, we don't even understand this. We don't understand no one does. It's almost like half the people in this world don't understand that this was a construct, and the other half are just basically following the person in front of them. I've never been a follower in my life, and I've never actually disregarded the fact that God was always on my side. All right? So I can't say that everybody's perception is the same, but I also can't say that your job on this earth is the same as mine also. And that could explain why we don't get along in the physical world, right? That YouTube tries to even divide us more unconsciously, basically by putting people in here and false narratives in here to cover your narrative. If you ever notice, when you do start to get flourishing and you do start to give some truth that you believe is coming from your heart, you always see people show up on YouTube all of a sudden on top of your agenda, giving other information about what you have already taught and leading it to another way. And not only that, but you also see them get support from YouTube. And it makes other people who don't understand YouTube, when they come in, they see these people flourish, they think, well, that's the truth. But you have to understand what this place YouTube is about. It wasn't about the truth. It was about hiding the truth, right? But giving all the details you could possibly give and dividing as many people as you can who had the same truth. Okay? Remember that.
Shall they rejoice with joy and be glad, and into the holy place shall they enter, and its fragrance shall be in their bones, and they shall live a long life on earth, such as thy fathers lived. And in their days shall no sorrow or plague or torment or calamity touch them. Then blessed I the glory of God, the eternal King, who has prepared such things for the righteous, and hath created them and promised to give to them. And I went from thence to the middle of the earth, and I saw a blessed place in which there were trees with branches abiding and blooming, of a dismembered tree.
There you go.
And there I saw a holy mountain, and underneath the mountain to the east there was a stream, and it flowed towards the south. And I saw towards the east another mountain higher than this, and between them a deep and narrow ravine. In it also ran a stream underneath the mountain. And to the west thereof there was another mountain, lower than the former, and of small elevation, and a ravine deep and dry between them. And another deep and dry ravine was at the extremities of the three mountains. And all the ravines were deep and narrow, being formed of hard rock, and trees were not planted upon them. And I marveled at the rocks, and I marveled at the ravine. Yea, I marveled very much. Then I said, for what object is this blessed land, which is entirely filled with trees? And this...
All right, now listen to this part right here before I end. I'm going to let you go. But this also tells you where the souls of people who have passed on are being held and protected until the judgment. Okay? That's in the west part from the Tree of Life mountain that's above it. That's in the center of the earth. It's to the west of that. Now, that could be on a different level than the actual surface of the earth. Remember, we're in a dome, and it's a circular track. Okay? And the circles get smaller as they go up. All right? So listen, and I'll talk to you later. This is Chief, guys.
Cursed valley between. Then Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said, this accursed valley is for those who are accursed forever. Here shall all the accursed be gathered together, who utter with their lips against the Lord unseemly words, and of his glory speak hard things. Here shall they be gathered together, and here shall be their place of judgment. In the last days there shall be upon them the spectacle of righteous judgment, in the presence of the righteous forever. Here shall the merciful bless the Lord of glory. the eternal King.